Good evening and welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and here we are to fight CPS Stop Taking Our Children. It's a warm welcome. I know what you all are going through. I've been there. I'm a loving father, a husband. I have 6 children. Yes, I've been in CPS, and I've probably experienced everything you're going through. I've been homeless. I lost my home I'm working 40 years for. I lost one of my children that since CPS took her, brainwashing her, thinking that she could divorce her parents. So it was sad. It was really, really, really sad. But I want to go over the housekeeping. I have a co-host, Danielle. She should be here. Don't understand why she's not here. I'm going to text her a message and see if she can. Okay, I've texted her. Also, I have another one named Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. She is the other one that's been on the show a lot, has called in and so forth. And I want to make sure somehow they don't get the notifications. They're supposed to get notifications, and a lot of you don't. So KK's here. Hi, KK. KK is from Brooklyn, New York. She's a very sweet mother. Okay. Anyway, I welcome you. Court did not go as planned today. Oh my goodness! You got to tell me what they did now. The stage. Okay. You'd be careful when you touch your mouse on certain things. But anyway, I want to go over our housekeeping rules here. There's several ways you can interact with this podcast. We are live. You found us on Facebook. I am broadcast on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And one of the first ways you can do is really easy. You just type in a comment like KK did, and I ask you that it pertain to CPS questions, or a friend of yours has a CPS question, or you concern us something. Please show your name, city, state, or country, and be complete with your case. So. Now, I find the most enjoyable way is to call in. I got a number. You can call me at 626-698-0990. And you can share me your case. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. You'll be on my speakerphone. And I know KK's done that a lot. And that's one way. So it's 626-698-0990. Now, if you don't want to do any comment or talking or call in now, you can schedule to be a guest on my show. I've had a guest last night, several guests the last couple of days. To schedule as a guest, you're going to email my show producer. She's a really special lady that takes care of the show. She'll help you get on, and she's very good at what she does. All you need to do is email her at grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com, and just say you want to be on the morning or the afternoon. And here's Danielle. Let me go ahead and add her to the stage. And you want to be morning or evening, and all you need to do is email Grace. All you need to do is email Grace. Let me see, where did it go? I had it there for a second. There we go. So that's the second way, or actually the third way of you interacting with the podcast. You can text a message, you can call in, or you can email and be a guest on the show. We've had it, and that's been really, really nice. Good evening, Danielle, and thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate that.
I was just helping my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with your brother?
Oh, no, I was just helping him trying to get his Xbox working right.
Right. Okay.
The time carried over. I was like, I gotta go. His controller.
You're a good mother. You're a good mother.
It's sometimes it's a handful. His memory, he forgets a lot of things, and so it's very repetitive, so but once you're consistent with something and repeating it so many times, it does eventually stick with him. So, but you have to it all depends on his mentality that day, I guess, how persistent and consistent you have to be with it. But he usually does pretty good.
Well, we have KK in the house.
Okay, I see KK
from Brooklyn, New York. And she had a bad day at court.
It didn't.
Hey, there you are. Hello, I'm here. Good, Faye. Faye's under the weather.
Okay.
I think I've been under the weather.
I've seen Nadine.
Weather, and so I don't know what I have. But
are you feeling any better?
Well, I'm trying to be. Looks like we got a call. Good evening. Do you hear me?
Hi, Bob. It's KK.
Hey, KK. Welcome.
Welcome. Hi, Danielle.
Hey, how are you?
Well, and hello, Nadia Mong. You got it. And KK says, based on her attorney not feeling well, we did a virtual conference just so I could put in two motions, one regarding my child's graduation, another regarding the other one's birthday. And
hey, Natalia. Jesus.
You've been having a hard time breathing. Well, Faye, be careful yourself. I need you.
Eucalyptus.
Hello, Nadia from West Hollywood.
Big favorite.
You're out in the driveway again on her cardboard. She sits in the driveway in a cardboard.
Yeah, today was a piece of, I don't understand, no matter what I do to try to be, productive or, involved, the CPS and the foster care agency just constantly restrict me and make it very, they make it seem like, I am a trigger to the children or a safety hazard. So when the judge, asked the children's attorney and the CPS attorney, are they opposed to the motion of me attending my child's 5th grade graduation, a once-in-a-lifetime event? And they said, yes, they were opposed based on the children being more domiciled in the foster home and not destabilizing based on them having no contact with me.
Wow.
So that
was a letdown.
Yeah.
But the judge was saying that she wanted the guardian ad litem to speak to the children and come back to court on the 14th, which is next Friday, for a 30-minute conference.
All right.
To see if the motion was granted. But
can they not bring the kids to court themselves?
Because of what the foster parent has told them, it is very difficult. So I'm just like.
What is the motion?
The motion was to have me in attendance with an escort from the foster care agency to participate in my child's 5th grade graduation and to take her to a dinner celebration afterwards for maybe an hour and a half.
No.
And then the other one was my 8-year-old is turning 9 on the 30th. I wanted to throw her maybe like a little cake and ice cream with a couple of friends for maybe like 2 hours. But they basically said, according to the children, they were very adamant when the visits were restricted. And basically the communication was removed until further notice. And they were adamant. They were like, we don't want to speak to her ever again because she's making problems for grandma. That's what they call the foster mom. So, I really feel like this event is a once-in-a-lifetime event. And as a parent with my rights intact, they're not going to take this event from me, Mr. Pace or Ms. Danielle. If
Right.
I have to go to DC and get myself heard based on my being intact, and this, like I said, this is a life-changing event. I will never see this event again for my child.
That's right.
Yeah, I missed some events too. My kids were ripped out of Boy Scouts, and that was sad because both my boys were pursuing their eagle, and they'll never get it. So I know how you feel.
I missed every holiday this year, Mr. Bob. Every holiday, every little fun day, Valentine's Day, Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's, everything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they never have cared about holidays. They never cared about school.
But I'm just like, how could you possibly tell me I am a trigger to my children, and they have not implemented any services I requested, but yet the services my children do have were implemented way before the removal.
Yeah.
And they have not been added to them or amended them in any type of way to, honor the parenting plan.
Yes, yes.
But yet, when they removed my children's Social Security that paid that premium for them to have those services, they said I discontinued services based on me not getting my way. And that wasn't even the case. You tampered with their finances that cover those things because I don't have state Medicaid.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've never been in a situation to where, honestly, my children's benefits cannot be, designated to another payee because they're dependent benefits based on me being disabled.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's a federal issue, which they have violated dramatically.
Can you appeal that or file?
I definitely did, and Social Security was putting me back as a designated payee and filing, I don't know exactly what it's called, to the appellate court.
So Social Security is listening?
Oh, sorry, to the conversation?
No, to what you're complaining about.
The whole situation, yeah.
Because based on me having legal guardianship, where I have to make all...
So the representative payee?
On my side, basically because I am the legal guardian, which makes all the financial, medical, and therapeutic needs. The foster parent has physical guardianship that does not grant her access to their dependent benefits based on me being a dependent disabled.
So you're the representative payee, like the conservator?
I'm sorry, Ms. D, what did you say?
Are you like through Social Security? Are you the representative payee for your kids, or the conservator?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you're in charge of all the funds and that part, and she's just got physical.
But it's not really a representative payee. They receive dependent benefits based on me being disabled.
Okay.
Not with their own disability.
So it's not conservatorship?
No, not at all. And that's where the foster care agency screwed up.
Oh, okay.
Because they assumed that my children had SSI, Social Security income. No, they have SSDI, dependence benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So when I took the court order to Social Security and they saw the word temporary, automatically they started writing a motion to a higher court.
Oh, wow.
So at least I got something positive out of this.
Right. That's a good.
Expense reports and statements to show that their money is their money. I spend their money on them for their services.
Yeah, that's a good thing too, because especially with your situation, keep track of that paper trail, everything with cross your T's and dot your I's.
Prior to them having a court order, they didn't even have a court order when they restricted the visit. They had no authority.
Wow. It sounds like your judge is not is actually like wanting to talk to the kid. That's a good thing. I mean, it sounds like the judge is being neutral when it's being like neutral in a way, like she's not going with this.
Yeah, she's been the same judge, Ms. Danielle, for the last 10 years, and she's really like for the parent. And with this situation, she doesn't understand where mental impairment came in when substance abuse has always been the allegation. But again, based on my stage 4 cancer and lupus, I am prescribed fentanyl. So, I'm working my treatment program. I've been in service. I've been clean from the last 22 months from the last case. Like I've been working my steps and doing my therapy and honoring my NA fellowship. So I've changed things to accommodate my children for their wellness.
Okay. So she's really, I mean, she's looking at the like apparently she's not going with their word, because apparently they're making you just look like you're
every time the children see me, they have to get evaluated. I am the person that triggers them to the point of anxiety and PTSD flashbacks.
So look like they act out or something when they go back to where they're.
Yes, they said every time they have a visit with me, they have to be evaluated the next day, which I find hard to believe. When my daughter pulled a knife, my 11-year-old pulled a knife on the foster mother, and I hadn't spoken to them or seen them for 2 weeks prior to that. But yet they called me to get consent to have her admitted, but then released her and didn't notify me at all.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like they're just going with what they want to go with, and the judge is catching on to
They are.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Just
and because we're in fact finding, you guys, we cannot put in like motions for a 1028 or a consent motion until it's our turn to testify.
Right. So they're still in fact finding still.
And then the next court, guys, the next court date, and you're not going to believe this, September.
Wow.
Yes, September.
Why so far out? Wow.
Oh, because the attorneys couldn't agree. Because
Wow.
the time clock is running out. September 1st will be my time clock for termination.
Yeah, they called my aunt today or my aunt yesterday, and telling her that they only do because they're wanting fingerprints and a drug test for my aunt and my uncle for some reason again, and she's already did all that.
To be a guardian?
Yeah, to even do the home, like to bring them home. Huh?
But I thought, Miss Danielle, when they become a monitored resource, they're already cleared through the state, and when they do the home study, right?
Exactly. That's what I thought too. That this is their way of trying to hold it off.
Instead of fingerprints, that's crazy.
And what did she say, Bob?
What?
Say that again, KK.
Right. Time clock. I'm sorry, Mr. Bob. What did you say?
I said repeat what you said to Danielle.
As far as what?
Of like about the home assessment and being on my, because she's already
time clock. So what they do is right.
Go ahead and
do a home study, which includes the safety, the finances, the space, and the living areas.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they do the financial analysis, that usually comes with the training, which is CPR and first aid. It comes with SCIP for strategies, crisis and intervention preparation. And then it comes with your research, your budgeting, having to be able to take care of yourself prior to the foster care stipend being issued.
Right. And
so that fingerprints is not, I don't understand what they're trying to, because that takes 2 to 6 weeks.
And they've already did the fingerprints and everything like that. They did it in February. And they were supposed to have him home like right after Easter. And then now all of a sudden this stuff. And they're trying to say, and then my aunt, she went off on the lady, and she told her, like, she's like, I'm not, y'all are going to keep, y'all sit here and want me to be on y'all's time. She's like, I've tried, but y'all going to sit here and just keep on. And they're not working. They're trying to come up with new things every time and just holding it off for him. So
right. You're right, Miss D.
So I'm just going to go ahead, and I talked to her today, and we're just going to go ahead and take it up a notch and turn it to
you, right, Miss Danielle? What state are you in?
I'm in Georgia, but he's in Texas.
In Georgia. So I do know a little bit about Georgia. For some reason, when they clear the families down there, as far as like for an open home for a child to come and reside, if it's family, have they hit you with we have to talk to everyone in the home 18 or older in order to clear them as well?
You have to what?
Do they have to talk to everyone in the home that is 18 or older in order for the children to stay there?
They said that they needed to know
in the home that's 18 or older.
Yeah, they said that they needed to know if there was anybody in the home other than my aunt and my uncle that's 18 or older. But huh?
Exactly. But that's total crap.
Yeah, because my aunt.
Now, my concern is, what if it's a rooming house? What if the person that you're using as a resource to help with visits lives in a rooming house?
Now say that again. What Bob? What did she say?
What if say if you are needed like supervised resources and you get one of your resources that clears to monitor the visit? Do you know that they have this new rule that they have to clear everyone in the home, whether they're part of the visit or not, even if your visits are not being conducted at that address?
Really?
Which is unfair.
Yeah. And they the visits that they do are like right now my visits are over video. But my aunt has had foster kids before, so she's been cleared for 2 or 3 years now, and I don't understand what their problem is, because this could have prevented foster care back when my mom died.
Who is a foster parent with an open home, a former school safety agent, and a CPS worker in training, who lives downstairs, knows all my children's special needs and all their ailments. And they told her she lived too close and could possibly be manipulated to leave me with the children unsupervised.
Oh, wow.
But you create non-kinship, non-family, and basically is toxic within the co-parenting dynamic.
Wow. And my son, he's 18, so like they said it would be, what I'm trying to find out is since he's 18 and extended foster care is voluntary, where is it that they how did he sign? What did he sign? Was he aware of what he signed? And can I just go to Texas and get him?
But if he signed it under duress, or if he signed it and he's 18, then he's responsible for that signature.
Right. And he has a guardian ad litem, and I know they got him to sign that.
See, then he's not responsible enough to make decisions on his own. That's why. And if he signed that document, then he signed it under false pretenses.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because he just signed it just because they told him to. That's all. He don't know what he's signing. They're telling what they've told him either.
But like I said, Ms. D, if that was a signature under duress, based on him not having comprehension or knowledge on what that document entails, then you can also fight that, as well as it's called literacy competency motion.
Because I know I signed my stuff with under duress. When I've signed my signature on certain things, I've signed under duress under my signature.
We don't count as a parent. We don't count. They don't count.
No. And what's crazy is they got me to fill out the release of information at the beginning. It's the ROI.
All the time, a blank one, right?
Yeah. But I filled in everything that they were.
Here, initial here.
They have too many room for where they can put stuff in. Like they'd hand us a blank sheet of paper, want us to sign it, but it has no ink on it, no wet ink of any instructions or anything. That's what I don't get. And it's crazy.
And that's what they do. They point there. They sign your signature here, initial here, sign here, and put the date.
Yeah, that's what my court-appointed attorney did. She emailed me the ROI form and he told me to sign it. I'm like, well, what am I signing? Just sign it, Danielle. Just sign it. I'm like, what am I signing?
And you think it's your attorney, so you're thinking they're in your best interest. And look at that.
Yeah. Then no, she wasn't in my best interest. That's for sure. I learned that after
I know in New York City, it is a violation of your civil rights, and I'm more than sure in other states. But it says in the penal case law, it says you cannot force a person to divulge their civil liberties based on duress or coercion in an active court proceeding regarding children and the welfare or neglect of them. Article 10.
Wow.
So because I won't sign one, but I keep giving them compliance letters, like the questions they ask, I have the clinicians or the programs respond to those questions.
Really?
Like rhetorical questions and no extra elaboration, just blunt.
That's
and
like
on it and what they can get.
Let me see if I can pull this up. The children rights. I found something online that I was trying to show Bob earlier, but it's the CPS rights of children and youth in foster care, and it's a copy of the CPS rights. And for the caseworker must provide this copy to the youth, to the children and the youth no later than 72 hours when they come into care. So it's got to be signed on the signature lines by the youth, the caregiver, and then signed by them. And it's crazy because it says, like, as a child in foster care, I have the right to, and you ought to see, I mean, and this is for Texas Department of Family and Protective Services.
They have that authorization based on the prudent parent law. The prudent parent law allows them to override certain permissions.
You say the prudent parent or crudent parent?
It's called, yes, prudent, P-R-U.
Prudent, P-R-U.
Parent
All right.
law. It's a law that is in this continent that is allowed for authorization to be overridden based on a life of normalcy.
Really?
Now Faye said a comment here that she sees her daughter graduate from elementary school, which is the 5th grade, and she was able to do that. Faye, how are you able to do that so that can help out KK?
Yes, please help me, Miss Faye.
Yeah.
She said, thankfully, I got to see my daughter graduate this year from elementary school. That was a blessing. How did you go about doing that, Faye, to see your granddaughter?
I'm trying to get my son back home so he can graduate from Georgia.
I mean, your daughter, not your granddaughter, your daughter. Why am I saying granddaughter? And Nadia is talking about
she's back
finding 1028, whatever that is.
She said she's back in the house. She's not in the driveway anymore.
Fact-finding active trial, you cannot. That's one of the motions that cannot be entered.
Now she's
1028 bring your children home for the duration of the trial, but does not mean the 1028 will be heard. You have to get it heard, and then you have to provide evidence to back it up.
Okay. So, if you can put in a 1028, does not mean the judge has to hear it. Okay. All right.
Is it 1028 like the 388 or no?
Yeah, it's similar to it, but it basically puts the children in a situation to where there are no safety concerns, and they can resume care back in the home while the trial is proceeding.
Okay.
Okay. So that they're safe.
That's usually done after the disposition and jurisdiction hearing.
Yep. Faye, if you hear me, we have a question for you. We're happy to see that your daughter is able to graduate from elementary school. How did you do that? How did you make that happen, Faye?
$10.28 is different from the 3.
Yeah, I think the 3.8 we know is different. The 10.28.
366.6 and 3. Yeah. That's the Welfare Institutions Act. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They done made my aunt mad. I know that. She's pissed. Pardon my French, but
I have to wait until my children respond about this motion in order for me to be able to attend graduation. Isn't that something?
Really?
What the parent said, she's concerned about her safety.
Wow. There's something else.
Supervision, school safety agents, and numerous staff. Are you kidding me?
They're a mess. They come up with some crazy stuff.
They make you go like very erratic and very irate when they play with your common sense and make you think you're being gaslit to go down into like a spiraling psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
This is like psychological warfare at its finest.
Right. And that's what they're doing. They're psychologically beating us down, like, and just trying to break us down in the worst way possible that they can. Like, I mean, and I guess because they think since they take psychology that, or I don't even know what makes them think that they can do what they do.
You know what Mr. Davis always says, and I always keep in the back of my mind? He says, court cases are not won in the courtroom. Keep that in mind.
True.
Okay.
That is true. I've heard him say that several times. Hold on real quick. I'm going to step up real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'm still here with y'all. I just got to step up. Hold on.
Are you all right, Mr. Pace?
Yes, I am. Why? Why?
No, I saw you making a face like you were in pain.
I am in pain. I have something wrong with my tooth now. I don't know. There's something loose.
Oh, what'd you eat?
I wanted to see my baby graduate. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I've groomed her this long for her to be productive to move on to a secondary school. I should be a part of that.
Okay. I'm back.
Welcome back, Danielle.
Thank you.
I like to remind everybody who those pink ladies are.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully by now, I'm talking about the social workers of CPS and Prescott, Arizona, who decided in 2022 to make T-shirts. And on the T-shirt, it says, "We are professional kidnappers." And on the back, it says, "Do you know where your children are at?" Or do you know where your children are?
You're right.
You're
right. It's cut it off the top.
Yeah.
CPS told me I couldn't call and do wellness checks because I know my children are safe and I know where they are. But yet my children are seeing domestic violence. They're watching pornography. They're using weapons. They're physically, harming each other.
That is sad. That's sad.
Criminal backgrounds. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, I'm trying to tell all the listeners, all you new listeners and regular listeners, that you cannot trust CPS.
No,
they are backwards. They're not transparent. They don't help you. They lead you up and then knock you down. They lie to you. They cheat you. They alienate your children. They traffic your children into foster care, and they overexert their powers. They don't care about your civil rights or constitutional right, and they will take your children without being in extreme danger, and they'll do it because you think you have to do it. And so I'm telling you all out there is you got to be careful of these social workers. And that leads me to the first rule I always talk about is getting an attorney. And everybody needs an attorney because fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. If you're going to do open heart surgery, are you going to cut open your chest? Are you going to get an auto mechanic or a plumber to open your chest? Or you get someone else, a friend to open your chest? No, you get a professional doctor, a doctor who's trained and educated and gone through an internship and a mentor program and, has studied it.
I got to hang up. This is the Foster Care Agency calling me, and it's like,
all right. Okay. All right. Thank you, KK.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, we're talking about rule number 1. KK had to leave because supposedly late at night, the foster care is calling her. That is surprising. Wow.
That's a good, maybe. What's wrong with your tooth? Have you been eating like peanuts or something?
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Ouch.
So anyway, I'm talking about rule number 1 is an attorney. I didn't get an attorney right away, and I was mistakenly tried to use the court-appointed one. And that was a waste of time because the court-appointed one have a caseload of 30 people. They don't talk to you ahead of time. They only talk to you the day of the hearing. It's like for 5 minutes outside the courtroom. They won't defend your case. They won't fight for what you want as parents. They just go through the motions, and it's a waste of time. They're not even trained as dependency court, and they don't know how to fight CPS. In fact, they're friends of CPS. So I strongly urge you that you do not take a court-appointed attorney. Now, you can fight yourself in pro se, but you got to be very careful because you're in a court of law, and there's a lot of rules and regulations and stuff. And I tried to fight CPS by writing letters and having meetings and telling them what was wrong, and they didn't like hearing me saying that. They didn't like to be called that they're inefficient. So I can't answer that call. Jeez. Sorry. That's my problem. I have too many phone lines tagged into my phone. Put garlic on the tooth. Well, I already used up all my garlic. There's some in the spaghetti, maybe.
Garlic on your tooth? I've never heard that.
I don't know that. That's Natalie's.
Wow.
Natalie's words of wisdom there.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to rule number 1 is that you got to find a real attorney. And to do so isn't that hard. I think Danielle has shown me how all you have to do is you have to word your searches. The internet is the power for you to win your CPS case. There's so much information on the internet.
It's a resource.
I mean, I have 75 tabs open right now with things to look at on the internet. So that is. Okay. Hey, Faye, you're back. We want to know how you got to do your graduation, your 5th grade graduation with your daughter.
What did you do to?
Yeah, what did you do? Because KK wanted to know. So anyway, Faye's writing that to us. You search a attorney by the city you live in, and if it's not a major city, you have to add that city too. So I'm going to use an example in Georgia. Find in Athens and Atlanta, which is the next big city to Athens, Georgia, a pro bono. That means an attorney that doesn't charge a fee. Dependency attorney. It's not that long. Find in Athens and Atlanta, Georgia, a pro bono dependency attorney. And you should see a list of hopefully 10 or more. All you need to do is find 10. If there's only 5, then that's fine. And what you're going to do with them first, okay, she said she went with a friend, her son, which is a classmate of my daughter. You went to school and watched it. Don't you have a court order that stays so many yards from your children? I'm kind of confused there. Plus, the school hears you on campus with your daughter. They're going to try to get the police involved. So you search that, and let's say you come up with 15 names. All you need to do is scroll and pick 10 of them. And of the 10, you're going to call in and first see if the place is open for business.
Right.
Second, you're going to find out if they are truly a pro bono attorneys. Thirdly, you're going to find out if they have attorneys that have fought in dependency courts against CPS. And then another question you're going to ask them is that have they ever did a civil suit, either in federal or state courts against CPS? If they answer yes to that one, that means those people are fighters. Most attorneys don't want to fight CPS.
No.
So, those are things you got to do. And then you're going from your 10 phone calls, you're going to narrow it down to 5 that you're going to have consultation with. And
if they ask about money right off the rip, then that's a no-no. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say again.
So if they ever ask about money right off the rip, like in your consultation, if they bring up money.
Right. Yeah, right. Money should be the last thing that a good attorney will do. So that is always good.
Right.
Okay, Faye. See, with me, I had to stay 100 yards from my children.
Wow.
I cannot be close to my children. I had to be less than 100 yards, so I couldn't go to graduation because the social worker said I had to be 100 yards from my children, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And okay. Yay, we got Faye. Good evening, Faye. Yeah. Let me finish my rule here on 1 here with the attorney. So you've narrowed it down to 10, and you're going to narrow it down to 5. You're going to call for a consultation. And one of those 5s, we want you to add in Vincent W. Davis. And he does a consultation for $60 for 30 minutes. His number is 888-888-6582. He also can be reached online at candly.com/law office of VWD/Bob Pace. That's going across the bottom. And you can schedule a consultation. Make sure when you call in that you tell him I sent you. And then when you talk to Mr. Davis, say that you sent you there. So it's very important that you get an attorney. And I say many times over, Vincent has fought civil in both federal and state courts and won against CPS. He has gotten kids back. He's got the children back.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, that after you talk to them and talk to Vincent, he'll go in any state, by the way. He's in Southern California, but he'll practice Northern California, one of the other states there. So you should be able to get a pro bono attorney. If Vincent Davis' fees are too high, I understand, and he understands too. So that was my rule number 1. Now, Faye just called in. She's from Richmond, Kentucky, and we were asking her how she was able to get to see her daughter graduate from 5th grade. And I guess she had no restraining order. So as long as I guess she didn't approach the child, she was okay. So, how come you didn't have a restraining order against your children?
There was just never a restraining order put in place.
Oh, wow.
I've never been served one, and there's never been one mentioned. Besides, I was invited by a friend to go to her son's graduation with her, and he was my daughter's classmate. So they were both having their graduation at the same time.
Okay.
So I got to watch my friend's son graduate, plus watch my daughter graduate.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Cool.
I understand you having a hard time breathing.
Yeah, I have pulmonary hypertension, and
oh, wow.
I have really bad days sometimes. And today and last night was a really bad one for me.
Yeah, I wish I could figure out what's affected me because the same thing that was happening last night is happening right now, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I tried to lay down and rest today. Of course, I didn't eat, which I should have. Maybe it's just hungry pains and so forth. So
your sugar is...
Yeah, it could be my sugar level too. I need to take a test again and check it out. What's new with you, Faye? Anything new you like to offer or suggest?
No, nothing really new. I just was calling in to explain it because I know KK wanted to know. So
yeah, she had a phone call. She had CPS come after her.
The foster care called her.
Yeah, she had a phone call she had to take care of.
Sorry about that. I was sitting on my porch.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, as far as I know, there's no restraining orders against me or anything. I've never been served with any. In order for you to have a restraining order, you would have to have notice of it.
Well, CPS did one because they didn't want me to be around the children. I can't believe that.
That's sad.
What'd you say?
CPS didn't want me to be around the children.
They filed a restraining order against you?
Yeah, they did.
I'm sorry.
And that it was really sad because at one time they even alleged that I broke the 100-yard rule, and that never did. When I lost my house, I was bringing the animal pets over to the new place, and I parked the car, and I was more than 100 yards away. But my son measured it, and he proved the calculations that are wrong. But they lie. They lie. They're so bad. They lie.
Right.
It should go over rule number 2, which is something that I think we all hate. It's called paperwork. And when you have a CPS case, you're going to have a lot of papers flying, a lot of incidents happening. You'll be taking your classes, parenting classes, and program classes. You're going to be seeing a psychiatrist, and you need to keep track of all that.
Mm-hmm.
The easy way to do it is get yourself a notebook. Get a 3-ring, 6-inch thick notebook.
Oh yeah, big one.
That could be a big one, and you're going to stuff it full of college rule notebook paper that has holes in it and put it in there. And then you want to buy some subject dividers. 10 subject dividers are good to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep it kind of organized. And one of the most important one to go with your first tab, you can put on the tab incidents. And what I mean by incidents is every time you have an interaction with the police or a social worker, you write down the date and time and who was involved, the people that were involved. Then you describe the incident, and then you follow up with the outcome of the incident. If you have one, you may have to come back later and fill it out. And then you skip a couple lines with the next incident, the next incident. That way, 6 months, a year from now, you'll remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very important to have it. Another subject tab could be your list of the classes you're taking, the programs you're taking, your drug tests, those kinds of things. And you want to keep track of them, hole punch them, and put them in there. Then another one could be info about what you find about CPS and websites and phone numbers and people you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, you keep organizing your notebook and use highlighters like pink and yellow. They'll highlight things that you later want to come back and look at. So it's a very useful tool. So that's my rule number 2. And then rule number 3 is if we can put the picture of that gentleman, the Air Force guy there.
Right.
This guy right now that you're seeing before you was murdered. I'm going to call it murdered on May 3rd because he just opened his door. There's some type of mistaken identity. I don't know. The police are trying to cover it up. It happened in Gainesville, Florida. This guy was talking to his girlfriend on FaceTime, and she watched him die on the phone. And, they had reports. 911 called the sheriff and said there's complaints at the apartment complex. And when the sheriff came, he talked to the girl that called in with a complaint. She says she thought it could be this apartment, but she wasn't sure. And instead of the sheriff listening or checking things out, he went right to the door, banged a couple of times, said nothing, and then he banged and said very gruffly, "Open the door." Well, the gentleman came to the door, and he had a weapon in his hand because he had a right to do so. He had a permit to carry a weapon or use a weapon, and it was not drawn at the sheriff. It was hanging down at the side. Well, the sheriff saw him 2 feet away and shot 5 times and killed him. Now, I don't know why sheriffs don't know how the main people in the foot. I don't understand why policemen can't temporarily disable a person. Why they have to kill them right away?
Right.
I just don't understand that. I don't see
why they had to shoot him anyway, because he wasn't pointing a gun at anybody.
No,
Right.
He had the gun down at the ground, but he was armed. And the sheriff, I guess, was worried
just
about his
being
life.
armed isn't a threat, though.
No.
I agree. But anyway,
I mean,
if I was the sheriff, I would have done it totally different. I would have checked around my ears to the walls to see if there's any commotion going on. And then I would have, knocked on the door and said right away, "Hi, I'm Sheriff of Gainesville. I'm here to investigate a domestic dispute. How many people are in there?" Or I was like that. So I would try to calm the guy down inside, or the persons inside. And then he would have said further that after talking to the gentleman, he would have said, "If you have a weapon, I want you to put your weapon down away from your body. I want you to unlock the door, lay on the ground, put your hands on your head." And then he would have opened the door slowly from the side of the door jamb, not in front of it, because, too many police are killed at the front door if they stand there. And why I'm talking about this front door and stuff is you, with CPS workers and police that come to your house, don't open the door. Don't open the door to anybody. And I'm trying to emphasize that your life is on the hand. But anyway, he could have came in, scooted the weapon further away, put handcuffs on the person, then gone and searched the rest of the apartment for anybody else. But he didn't do any such thing. His body cam showed him he point blank fired 5 times. The video on the FaceTime that he was with his girlfriend showed everything else. It was so. I'm telling you, do not open the door to social workers. Don't let them in your home. They don't belong in there in your home. I mean, your home's your castle. It's your constitutional rights. And don't be intimidated by the police. They have to have what's called a warrant or probable cause to enter your home. If there's an ongoing crime in progress, they will enter your home, such as you're throwing a child against the wall, or you're beating up the child, or there's a gun battle going on, or a knife battle going on. There's danger ensuing. Then they're going to come in. But if there's nothing going on, then they need a warrant if they're going to come in. A warrant is a court order that's signed by a judge, that's embossed with a seal at the bottom, that has the name of the person that they're serving it on, the children involved, the allegations, and the address, and the date and time when they're supposed to do the investigation. And then further, they have to decide. I mean, they should have on there of what the social worker going to do, a search or whatever the case is, or they take the child. But if they don't have that such thing, you don't have to open the door. In fact, I would say you want to go hide in the outer part of the house. And then I would contact my attorney, and because they'll leave a card or something like that. If you're outside, when you talk to them, it's yes, no answers, and make sure you get their badge number or their ID, name, everything, because they will lie. They will lie. So it's really, really important there. So that also goes true for medical trafficking. There's 2 scenarios. One, you have a sick child in the middle of the night and you want to take them to emergency. You go to emergency, the doctor may say this may be wrong with him or that may be wrong with him. It's nothing urgent. It's not like he needs stitches or something like that. And then you can say, well, I'm going to have him see my pediatrician, or I'm going to have a second opinion. Right away, the CPS workers are working in the hospital. They're going to take your children because you're refusing any type of medical assistance. I can guarantee if the child is bleeding, they will stitch them up and you'll have them do so. But, you have medical rights, and you have rights to pick what doctor they see and what they do and so forth. So whatever you do in that case scenario, don't let them take your child. They need a court order. Furthermore, if you're a pregnant mom and you're having your child in the birthing room and suddenly they burst in and want to take the child for some alleged reasons that there's supposedly drugs in the system or anything, don't let them in there. Ask the medical staff to get them excused to the lobby area. They don't need to be in your birthing room. You need to nurse that child, and you need to, take care of that child. So on medical trafficking, it does exist. And those are the 2 scenarios you got to be careful about. So no to social workers, no to police. Think about this guy here that was murdered on May 3rd. And, don't open your door no matter what. I did a mistake. I opened my door. I followed the detective home, and there was like 9 people in my front yard. I have no idea why they need so many people, because all they did is they charged me with neglect. and immediately they took my children. They were in school, thought they were in danger. This is stupid. This is so bad. So those are my 3 rules. I wanted to get them in because lately I have not been able to do them. We have about 5 minutes left. We have to cut out early tonight at 8 o'clock sharp because there's another podcast that's happening. Mm-hmm. So what else you like to talk about, Faye?
I was just going to say that it's real simple to get your kid took away from you when you take them to the emergency room. Mm-hmm. Because I took my son to the emergency room when he had a bicycle accident, and in the ER, the doctor comes out and he's like, jumping all over me, and I'm like, well, what is your deal? And he's like, your son has a level 3 concussion on his head. That is as bad as being hit by a car. Wow. And I'm like, okay. Wow. I'm like, I understand that. And I understand it's serious. I said, but I did what I was supposed to do. I brought him to the hospital and everything. He said, well, why didn't your son have a helmet on? I said, he did have a helmet on, but when he hit the curb, when he flipped his bike, his helmet broke and came off.
Wow.
And he says, well, do you have the helmet? I said, actually, I actually do. I said, it's in my car in the trunk. He said, well, I'm going to need to see that helmet or else I'm going to be calling CPS on you.
Oh, God.
Dang.
So I had to go out to my car and get my son's broken and battered helmet and bring it in and show it to the doctor to keep him from calling CPS on me.
Wow.
My brother has dealt with CPS when we were little. At school, he fell off his bike and had like a bruise on his leg, and they went to his school and made him pull his pants down and took pictures of his behind of this bruise where he fell off his bicycle, and because they tried to say my mom and dad were abusing on him, and he even told them, and they did all that with my mom without my mom there. And he still remembers that till this day. Like, my brother just brought it up the other day. And these
hospitals, they're in a hurry to call CPS on people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, they are.
And honestly, I think they get some kind of kickback for it.
Yeah, like a bonus or something. It's something. It's got to be something. It's like they go shopping. It's like
Well, let me see here. I'm trying to figure out mental cooking bonus. You are true. Okay. I want to thank Natalie from West Hollywood, California, who has a terrible case. There's a private chat message. What's that from? Grace. Okay, 7:51. Okay. She's giving me the countdown. So I'm going to have to end it pretty quick here. I have right now 7:58. I think she said 7:51. I don't know if that was earlier. But anyway, I want to thank you all. I want to thank you, Faye and Danielle, for being strong supportive of me and helping me make my show a lot better. I want to thank Nadine Monge, who called in before. I want to thank KK, who called in and wrote messages, and thank you, KK. And she had a terrible day with her case. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and have you still keep fighting for your kids, but I'm going to sign off with Danielle and Faye. And
prayers. Good night, everybody.
Good night. You can hang on, but good night.